Hi everyone, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good day to all my students. Today we will continue our next topic in international marketing, that is about social and cultural environment. Okay class, we start with tasks of global marketers. Actually here we have three tasks of the global marketer. First, global marketers need to study and understand the cultures of countries in which they will be doing business. Although culture shock is a normal human reaction to a new and unknown, successful global marketers strive to comprehend human experience from the local point of view. One reason culture factor challenge global marketers is that many of these factors are hidden from view. Second, task of global marketers is to understand how unconscious reference to their own culture value or self-reference criteria may influence their perception of the market. Because culture is learned and learned behavior passed from generation to generations, it can be difficult from outsider to understand a local culture. However, if they are really intent to understand the local culture factors, outsider gradually become insider and develop culture empathy. Third rule of the global marketers is to incorporate this understanding into marketing planning process. Actually, there are many different paths to the same goal in life to achieve a global marketing strategy. So the global marketer understand this and revel in the life rich diversity. Moving to third slide, this slide is an introduction to different aspects of culture. The goal of this slide is to help the student see the culture has a number of factors affecting it. Or in other words, we can say that many factors influence culture itself. Culture is acts out in a social institution and in society. Okay, what is culture? Culture is a way of living built up by a group of human beings. They are transmitted from one generation to another generation. Culture has both something conscious and unconscious value, idea, attitude, and symbols. Culture act out of social institutions. These institutions reinforce culture norms. And culture can be divided into both physical, something like clothing and tools, and something non-physical, such as religion, attitude, belief, and value. According to the pioneer researcher in a culture, Great Hofstede has defined culture into culture is a collective programming of mind that distinguishes the member of one category of people from those of another. A nation, an ethnic group, a gender group, an organization, or family may be considered as a category. Okay, moving to social institutions. Social institutions can be divided into many groups of things. Here, social institutions divided into, it can be family. Social institution can be educations, universities, school, or religions. and governments and also businesses and many things more. These institutions function to reinforce culture norms. Material and non-material, also known as subjective and abstract culture. Elements of culture are interrelated. Culture, a cultural universe include athletic, athletic sport, body endowment, cooking, courtship, dancing, decorative art, education, ethic, etiquette, family feasting, food taboos, language, marriage, mealtime, medicine, mourning, music, property right, religious, ritual, resident rule, status, and many things more. This slide shows us about society, culture, and global customer culture. Global customer culture are emerging because of technologies such as satellite TV, internet, and similar communication channel. Marketer has begun to see emergence of global customer. Hallmark of this culture is consumption. Person share meaningful symbol. They share coffee culture, fast food culture, credit card culture, and also soccer culture. The world become more interconnected and cultural imaginary continues to freely flow across national border, and it can be expected that this culture will grow. It can be exploited by global customer culture positioning. In particular, marketers can use advertising to communicate the notion that people everywhere consume a particular brand or to appeal to human universal. By accepting Hofstede's definition of culture about the collective programming of mind, it will make sense to learn about culture by studying attitude, belief, and value shared by a specific group of people. Value represent the deepest level of a culture and are shared by majority of members. With any culture, there are likely to be a subculture. A small culture under a big culture. That is a small group of people with their own shared sub of attitudes, belief, and value. Subculture may represent an attractive niche marketing opportunity, for example, vegetarian. So here we go to one by one for definition of attitude. We start with definition of attitude. Attitude is learned tendency to respond in consistent way to a given object or entity. A belief can be defined as organized pattern of knowledge that individuals hold to be true about the world. And value here can be operationalized definition as enduring belief or feeling that a specific mode of conduct is personally or socially preferable to another mode of conduct. Some specific examples for belief, attitude, and value. Okay, here we use Japanese. Some specific example will allow us to illustrate this definition by comparing and contrasting attitude, belief, and value. Japanese, for example, strive to achieve cooperation, consensus, self-denial, and harmony because these all represent feeling about modes of conduct. They are value. Japan's monoculture society reflects the belief among Japanese that they are unique in the world. Many Japanese, especially young people, they also believe that West is a source of important fashion trend. As a result, many Japanese share favorable attitude toward American brand. Religions, the influence or the role of religions in a culture. The world's majority religions include Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, Islam, Judaism, and are important source of belief, attitude, and value. Religions, tenets, practices, holidays, and history impact global marketing activities. For example, McDonald's does not serve beef hamburger in India because Hindus does not eat beef. There were objections arise in much of Daimler, Benz, and Chrysler relating to Jewish history and Holocaust. And some Muslims they are rise with anti-American sentiment. They are arguing a boycott of American brand due to US military action in the Middle East following 9/11. Okay, moving to aesthetics. Aesthetic element that are seems attractive in one country may be viewed differently in another country. The sense of what is beautiful and what is not beautiful is different from one country to another country. What represents a good taste as opposed to tastelessness or even obscenity in other countries. Result embodied in a color or shape of the product, label, and package. Style varies degree of the complexity, for example, are perceived different around the world. In a survey about color preference, interestingly, 50% of the respondents show that they like blue color as their favorite color, and it is a favorite by a wide margin over the next preferred color. Okay, now we have aesthetic and color. Red associated with the blood, wine making activity, heat, and vibrant in many countries, but is poorly received in some African countries. Blue color. Since the pigment was rare, ancient Egyptian, Chinese, Mayan associate it with the royal and divinity. Interestingly, half of the interviewee or respondent of one study indicate that blue is their favorite color. Moving to white color. Some countries in the world, especially Western countries, indicate white with the purity and cleanliness. However, in some Asian countries, white is indicated as a part of that. For gray, gray means inexpensive in Japan and China, but differently interpreted in US as a high quality and expensive color. Language and communication. The diversity of culture around the world is also reflected in language. A person now can learn a great deal about another culture without leaving their home by studying its language and literature. However, the best way to learn foreign language is stay in that foreign country. Okay. Linguistics have divided study into spoken, verbal, or unspoken, non-verbal. Non-verbal communication in the Middle East Western should not show the sole of shoe or pass document with the left hand. It show unpolite action. In Japan, bowing has many nuances. Asia places greater value on non-verbal communication than Westerner. English around the world for verbal communication. More people speak English as a second language than they are native speakers. 85% of Europeans study English, and interestingly, Sony from Japan and Nokia from Finland require upper managers to pass English proficiency tests. Marketing's impact on culture. Universal aspect of culture environments represent opportunities to standardize elements of marketing programs. Okay, the statutes a global marketer often discover that much of the appearance culture diversity in the world turn out to be different ways of accomplishing the same things. Widespread share preference of convenient foods, disposable product, popular music and movie in the United States, Europe and Asia suggest that many consumer products have brought even universal. The culture change and the globalization of the culture have been capitalized upon and even significantly accelerated by a company that seized opportunity to find customers around the world. Increasing travel and improved communication have contributed to convergence of taste and preference in number of product categories. Next class we have communication issue. Here I give you 5 communication issue. We start with sequencing discussions goes from point A to point B or goes off on tangent. There is actually a lot of unwritten rule in communication. For example, if you are talking or deal with United Kingdom businesses, you have to start your communications with a small topic or small talk about weather or traffic, at least 30 minutes. Praising agenda, okay, second communication issue here. Praising agenda items are discussed immediately or after a party established rapport. It depends on which culture are you deal with. American wants to go it alone, so maybe outnumbered in negotiations. And American talk too much and don't listen enough. They prefer to talk even on the side when they have to listen, they still talk too much. So that is a communication issue when you deal with a different culture in a global or international marketing.